Plastic model builders, welcome back to some more model making madness. This is the F-15E Strike Eagle. This is the last episode that we did. As you can see, we painted our model that wonderful gray color and we put the panel lines on, and here we are showing you what we just did, painting the rest of that gray on there. Did some bombs, did some missiles, had a good time doing this. Here's another coat of that, so there's panel eyes faded away. Watch that episode if you didn't see it. Click on the links, you know how to do that. Right here, this is the canopy getting out that line. We hated that line, but we got it out. It had to be done, right? So that's what we did. So we are going to move on to this episode. So let's take a look at what we got going on. We started with masking off the entire plane, and we are painting gloss white inside of the wheel wells. I couldn't think of any other way to do it. Yes, I used a lot of paper, but you know, like they say, if you don't want paint going anywhere, you mask everything off. So that's what I did. I masked everything off. That way, no overspray got anywhere. Just take your time, do it right, make it look pretty, of course. So here we are getting the other wheel well right here. That's 3 of them, 3 total. So landing gear was fairly simple for this plane. Thank goodness, not a lot to do. You see me painting this white, they go gray. So look at some reference photos so you can see how these actually go. This is the landing gear. Those all go white. Every little bit of those landing gear goes white. So paint all these little pieces here and we'll assemble those in just a little bit. Get the rest of the landing gear right there. Those are the main rear gear right there. So you see there's the front gear, and this is what the plane looks like. So we're going to put on some Titanium Buffing Metalizer here. And the way we had to do this, I already painted this and didn't read the directions on the Buffing Metalizer, but at least now I know that you can't have it painted. It needs a clean surface. So I'm removing all the paint here. This is how I did this. I just basically put a Q-tip, cotton swab, and put some lacquer thin or whatever it was I used to get all the paint off of there. Be careful with it. Look at reference photos as well, that way you can see exactly what you need to take off and what needs to be masked, because the directions aren't clear on that and they're kind of wrong. So if you look at actual pictures, you'll get it right. That's basically what I did. So it also says use paper to mask these things off and not regular tape. I can't remember the reason for that, but I looked it up because I used some Tester's brand and this is what it told me to do. So basically this is a neat way to mask stuff off and it doesn't peel anything in the process. So you see, you just put the paper down, it's all wet, it stays fairly well. Occasionally some of it popped up, but you see here that buffing metalizer goes on really nicely. And it's real pretty color too. I like it a lot, and this was the first time I actually got to use it, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Spray the nozzles right here. I already sprayed those once with a gray color, which was wrong, so here we are spraying the buffing metalizer on them. A little hard to buff those because you see you got small parts, but that's okay. They still look pretty good, and I sprayed the inside the same. Probably could have gone steel, but I really didn't care. It's the inside, and I love how this plane turned out. So my model, my way. Your model, you can do it your way. So here we go. Just buffing that out with the cotton swab. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. You maybe use a cloth or something like that, and you can see the color slowly starting to come out on there. After you're done, you also want to seal it. So this is how I did mine. As you can see, we did have to take some stuff off again and make it look better. So that's what it kind of looks like. We're going to put the nozzles in. After I put the nozzles in, I realized that, hey, wait a second, these went the wrong color. So we had to put more paint on there, and I'm going to show you that as well once these nozzles go in. So there's one nozzle, they kind of click into place. They can only go one way, so make sure you put them in the right way, otherwise you're going to have trouble. And there is the other one, and that's what they look like, and you see that shine right there. So here we go. This is the underside of the aircraft, and you see how much more actually gets that metalizer on there. Taking off all the paint where I don't need it. Yes, even there where the landing hook goes. So you paint this little area right here in that small little tab. Go all along this edge and all along that side of the engine. I have a surprise for you, because you see when I peel this off, the way I did it, it got a lot of lacquer onto that newspaper when I did this, so it took off a bunch of paint, like you can see. That's okay, we touched it up. We made it look pretty, of course, and the end result was fabulous. So we're spraying a bit of a sealer on here. That way it locks in that metalizer type look, I guess you could say. And this is what it looks like, and we're going to get everything nice and tidied up here. And you see this is what it looks like all finished. So now we can move on to the wheels. These are the rear wheels because the front are already done pretty much. So just slowly clip them away. I painted mine on the spruce and then I touched them up later. Not a big deal. Small little parts, so you got to pay attention to how to do these. A little bit of scraping to do. Might have been easier to do ahead of time, but you do the model as you see fit. Sometimes it's not always the right way to do it. If you can have a better way, by all means do it a better way, but this is how I did mine. Like I said, it's model making madness. If it were meant to be perfect, it would be. Small little parts right there, so just be careful. Had to scrape away the paint. Not sure of any other way to do that. Some more small parts. A lot of small parts for these landing gears. That's kind of a drawback on small planes. Is the landing gear really small? You just kind of got to do the best you can. So that's a flat piece. It looks like it's broken, but it really isn't. It's going to fit right on this little section here. But first we're going to put on the little hinge in between the hydraulic line and that right there. So that's how it always goes up and down. A little shock. Now we're going to put this piece in right there. That goes, it's a brace of some kind, I imagine. And here we go. This is the other landing gear. So we're going to repeat the same thing we just did. Put the little springy deal there for the hydraulic line. And we are going to put in that other little white piece. And now we can assemble the wheels and put them into the plane. So one last piece there. You see how it kind of just fits right into that spot. Put the glue right here on the little tab. And we are going to put this inside of that little box there. And press it down. You see where that wheel meets up with that little, I don't know what you want to call it, another little tab right there. So there, that's how it fits in. We're going to do the other side. And same process as before. Goes right in. Looks good on the finished product. And here it is. So now we've got the landing gear in. We've got to paint the canopy. So get your canopy, get the paint out. It goes the same color as the rest of the fuselage. See how I got it all masked off there? I did the front and the back, all the same color. Didn't really matter to me. It was down, so we made it look really good. This is the outside of it, of course, and we're going to flip it over and do the inside, and there it is. One little area there and one little area in the middle. Once we get that done, we are going to paint the, I guess, the canopy housing. I could never remember what these things are called, but either way. So we're going to put a little bit of black all around this inside area. Go right here, then we got that centerpiece there because this is a 2-seat jet, of course, so you're going to have to make sure you get that done. Looks pretty. It's a nice gloss black color. Go all the way across this little bar here. Be careful. It's hard to fit into the plane once you press it down. And we have these little other handles that are on the side as well. So we're going to get those, a couple of those on each side, front and back. I did, even though the underside doesn't really matter because you're probably not going to see it unless you kind of, redo the plane and make it so the canopy is up. It's whatever you want to do. I put mine down. I can't remember if you can make them up or not on this. So we're now applying a gloss coat. We know what those gloss coats are for, right? Yes, that's right. Putting on the decals, and those are going to be in the next episode, and we are going to show you a brief little recap of that. Not really a recap, but a preview. We are going to show you a preview, and you see here putting on the rest of that gloss coat really brings a nice shine to this model, really brings out the color. Gloss coats tend to do that. So getting the top part of this, and then we're going to flip the plane over and do the underside, because there's still a whole nother part of this plane to do and a whole lot more things to do with it. It's hard to fit all these in all these videos. That's why we're doing 6 videos for this series. Yes, I know that's a lot. I apologize. It is what it is, and that is what it is. So here we go, getting a wing, getting the rest of the plane, then just give a once over, a really nice whole bunch of gloss in there, because I can never tell when it's getting glossy. It doesn't ever seem like it because it's a clear paint, so it's hard to tell. Once we get the gloss coat done, we are going to paint our wheels. That way we can set them aside, they can dry, whatever we want to do with them. Going to paint the wheels black this time with a white wheel hub. So you see there's 2 rear wheels, and there are 1 wheel that goes right into the center of the plane. Sometimes they have 2 planes on the front, but sometimes I have 2 wheels on the front, but this one only has 1. So lucky us, that's less work to do. Here we are going around that rear wheel. You see the little brakes inside there, and this is the other wheel because there are 2, of course. I'm using a toothpick to hold that on, but guess what? In my next videos, I learned a little bit of a trick by watching other people's videos, and that is the use of something magical. And when you watch the very next airplane that I do, you will see me using that trick, and I'm using it all the time now because it's awesome. So here we are, we're just putting a little bit of a coat on here. By the way, silly putty, it's a really neat thing to use. I promise you'll like it. It holds everything in place without it moving. So getting the wheel hubs here. You can see I actually got a flat spot on that side, and that flat spot is so the plane rests perfectly on that. So that means you got to glue it and then make sure they stay down and press them in and make sure they are all glued nice and perfect. Now I know it's a little hard to see because it's bright, so sometimes lighting is an important thing, so check it out. This is some light. And these are what the wheel wells look like when you can actually see them. Anyway, I would like to thank you for watching my video. This is part 5 of the F-15E Strike Eagle. Watch the previous video if you didn't see it where we painted this plane. This is really fun to do. I enjoy this plane a lot. Don't forget to subscribe. That way you can see the latest videos when they come out. Every Saturday, every 2 weeks. This is a preview. These are the decals. Subscribe, comment, and like. Until next time, see ya!